we know that leadership can create trust and often destroys trust. And, you know, a high, safe environment is important not only for our ability to express, like the robin in your story, and we're seeing a lot of distress, and we're seeing a lot of anxiety, and some would say this is an issue for leaders, and that we are not being good leaders. We're being self-absorbed. We are not thinking as a collective or being clear in our intention. And, you know, from where you are, from where you look at leadership, of making people feel safe, number one, and yet combining in the dangerous, which you've described as necessary. Is it a fine?
Yeah, it's a very. It is very fine, isn't it? It's very fine balance. It's a subtle thing, but it's really the same as any parent faces. You know your child can never grow strong if you do not allow them to take risks. You know that the penalty for that risk might be that you're heartbroken for the rest of your life. Yet if you do not, that this young person who you want to flourish will never be able to flourish. The friend of mine tells this story of, you know, the caterpillar and the chrysalis thing, and you perhaps know it, Declan, but if the butterfly is trying to get out of the cocoon, and you peel back the cocoon to allow the butterfly out, the likelihood is it'll die because it hasn't had to struggle. And in the struggling, the pumping of the blood vessels and all the things begin to sort of fill, so that by the time it's been through the struggle, it's in, as it were, inflated. It's ready. So kindness, it's not not such an easy thing. You know, kindness sometimes is allowing someone to go through what they need to go through in order that they can actually become strong, as it were. So it's a very it's a subtle thing, and leaders we need to combine that sort of that sense of creating a safe place in that we, as it were, feel loved or just feel contained and held and supported, and at the same time we're being invited to take the next step. And actually the leader cannot know whether or not, you know, they don't know the outcome, which I think makes the leadership so difficult, isn't it? The parent doesn't know when they say to the child, you know, you're being bullied at school, you know, confront the bully, you know. We don't know that's going to lead to a good outcome.
Yeah.
We sort of hope. But, so it's tricky, but it's...
You mentioned that's the role of business. You even mentioned beneficial businesses, to take risks and to don't sell out.
Yes.
And,
yes.
you know, for people that are running businesses or even in businesses, buried in the middle management or even just as an employee, how do we survive, how do we thrive in that environment that we have created on the planet? It is a vehicle that we all live in and subscribe to on the planet. Can you see it changing? Can you see, you know, you're involved with business in an advisory capacity?
Well, I think it has to change, Declan, if we're going to find our way to a flourishing future. Business cannot continue to sort of operate from this ridiculous sort of position of simply generating growth and profit for shareholders with a nod in the direction to other stakeholders that assumes that the wealth and everything will dribble down to them, because that's usually exactly what it does do. It dribbles down to them, and most of it remains, you know, like glue attached to the sort of higher places. And then the model of business, which is, as we all know, you know, basically it's not just business; it's the entire economy. It's like just fouling the nest that we are raising our young in. So business has to shift, and I'm hoping that as time keeps developing that this will become seen not as some obligation that business should undertake, but this is every business is seeking to inspire its employees to give more than they are paid or punished to do, as it were. And and that's the opportunity to not cynically but truthfully describe our businesses in terms of we are part of the solution. We will relentlessly step towards a far rounder, more whole, kinder, more human portrayal of what business means. Not just because that's the way things are going, not just because it makes business sense, because it's the right thing to do, and we will do that. And us together, we are doing it together. So let's engage in this great experiment together and begin to redefine what a business ultimately means. I think we have to, and I think it's happening, and it's not happening quick enough. And it's also a big ask, because after all, most of our business leaders have been trained in a particular way, and they also have families and things, and they wish to succeed. Not many people, it's hard to persuade someone to make decisions which are going to see them rejected. So, but really, the other end of this is the truth, I think, of what our current situation is, which is our business execs really are mercenaries. They develop a very powerful sort of portfolio of skills, competencies, qualifications, and then they hoist their flag saying, open to the highest bidder. It's pretty much, I think, what we do. And although certain other things will come into it, in the end, usually it's about the highest bidder. So then the highest bidder says, I'll pay you this much. And you say, yes, okay. And everybody waves and claps and says, wow, that's amazing, look at that job he's got. And then that person goes into that job and does whatever they're told to do. This isn't leadership, in the end.
An interesting way of looking at it. Yeah.
We are just... So our leaders become, if we use the metaphor of sailing ships, they are like this very grand and glorious old sailing ship with all this sail out billowing in the wind, but there's no keel. So we go wherever the wind blows us. We're just blown around wherever the wind hurls us. You want me to be this? I'll be that. Oh, that's not in vogue anymore. You're a new chief exec. You want something different? I'll be this, and then we go and be that.
We sell our soul.
Yes, that's the raw, unpleasant truth of it. So we need people then to say, actually, no, I do have a keel. I know who I am, and I only work for those who, under whose flag I find a home, and I'm pretty, that is my pledge, and that is what many young people are doing now, because as they hear of companies which are offering a vision that is much more aligned to real values, doing something good in the world, the young people are flooding towards them. And in many of those companies, they're then flooding out again as they find out that it isn't actually the truth. So, if we want the best, I just hope and pray for the day when the universities and business schools begin to also teach the same thing, because to my mind, many of them are as bad as the commercial operations to which they, in fact, they're worse, because they are not creating the conversation and forum around which those young people can build their keels. They are simply trying to help them hoist more sail.